Hello and welcome to the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series from Michigan tonight. It's the Michigan 100 brought to you by Alpha Ornamental Metals, sponsor of the race here tonight. My name is Adam Baker and this is VSPEED presenting the race to you here tonight live on Twitch and YouTube. And this race taking place in the middle of the season, the first race that we will be broadcasting here of this series on VSPEED. Also want to give a shout out to the associate sponsor, Rapid Fired Pizza. You can see their information down in the description below the video tonight. But we want to thank everyone for tuning in already so far here tonight, and we appreciate all the support for yesterday's race in the iRacing Fantasy National Series. So these guys are just qualifying right now. You can see the ticker up on the left. Carl Dodson currently with the fastest lap, a 38.844, and then the rest of the drivers that you can see there, their times off of that. But we come into tonight's race, and Seth DeMerchant comes in with 3 wins on the season and tons of momentum. I don't believe he is in the field here tonight. I do not see his name on the entry list, so that will hurt him in the points. He does have a substitute driver filling in, and we have a pretty large field here tonight. I believe it's over 35 drivers, and the iRacing Fantasy Series acts as kind of the virtual version of what you'd see from the real NASCAR circuit. There are drivers and team owners based on the real cars you'd see on TV. You can see the 12 here, the Menards 12 Mustang, based on the Penske Racing scheme that Ryan Blaney runs. And just taking a look at Ryan Strunk here in the 77, based on that car that Justin Haley drives in real life. So a pretty cool series here. They have a great run league, lots of awesome drivers, and I expect some great action here tonight from Michigan, the 2-mile track here in the Irish Hills. Very high-speed track as we're taking a look at Rick Webb making his attempt at a qualifying lap here. And his lap at 39.389, that bumps him up to 20th on the boards. Probably not exactly the lap that he wanted, but he gets one in at least, and instead of starting at the tail end, he will be rolling off in that 20th position. So we're going to run through our grid, and we're going to check out the weather here in Michigan. All right, so let's bring up our grid. Let's go to these guys as they're sitting on pit road. On the pole tonight, it looks like Logan Kress actually beat out Carl Dodson for the pole time here at Michigan. So congratulations to Logan on a great lap there at 38.831. He takes the pole here tonight and looks to have a pretty fast race car in that number 1. The 95 of Carl Dodson going to be rolling off in second, just about 100th off of that time. So great lap by him as well. They will be making up the front row here tonight. Row number 2 is going to be Eric Wineland rolling off in 3rd and Chris Parkman rolling off in 4th. Rounding out the top 5 is going to be Nicholas Starling, 6th place. Daniel Hallis in the number 53 rolling off on the outside there. Justin Boyle starting in 7th. Josh Bearden going to be rolling off in 8th position here tonight. Spencer Tart rolling off in 9th, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin rolling off and rounding out the top 10. Alexander Pelican rolling off in 11th. Mike Springer starting in 12th. Travis Manning going to be rolling off in 13th, with Mike Miljenovich rolling off in 14th. Brandon Andrews starting 15th. Chris Etcheper rolling off in 16th. Justin Carey starting 17th, and Jeffrey McConey going to be starting in 18th. Justin Derrick rolling off in 19th, and Rick Webb starting in 20th position here tonight. Timothy Latham rolling off in 21st. Adam Westfield starting 22nd. Troy Sabat 23rd. Jeremy Boucher 24th. Richard Springer starting in 25th. Jordan Brockle going to be starting in 26th here tonight. John Jones rounds out the drivers who took times in qualifying, going to be starting in 27th. Brian Pizzakemi rolling off in 28th here tonight. Jacob Shorba on the starting grid. I believe he is not going to be making a start in tonight's race. So just disregard his name on the list here. Curtis Valenzuela rounding out the top 30. Chris Hansen rolling off in 31st. Richard Clement starting 32nd. Ryan Strunk starting 33rd. Alex Link 34th. James Love 35th. Robert Carroll 36th. And that is going to round out the field here tonight. So 36 drivers going to be starting tonight's race at Michigan. And it's going to be some great action. Lots of high speeds at this track. And it's one of the more difficult ones on the schedule. As the run goes on, the surface is pretty abrasive. And considering the speeds going down into the corner, it makes for some tricky handling setups. And let's actually take a look at the weather. 103-degree track temp is going to make it even slicker than it already would have been. So should be interesting here tonight for these drivers to see who can maintain their track position and keep the tires underneath them. And the draft is going to be incredibly important as well. So it will be important to be out front, but also up towards the front. As you get farther back, the aero push is going to be more and more difficult to deal with. And we're about ready to get going here. The number 31 on the grid, that's Logan Kress, though, in the number 1. It should be number 1, but he is rolling off, going to get us going here. Green flag is out of Michigan, and we are underway in the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series. So Kress, a good start down on the inside, 95, trying to deal with him up on that high line. Carl Dodson in the number 95 Dumont Jets, Toyota Camry, and a 12 of Eric Wineland right up into second position. We're going to bring up our ticker so you can follow along with your favorite driver. And comment down below who you'd like us to follow along with throughout the race. And we'll try to keep an eye on them throughout the event. But right now, the top 2 in line, and we've got 2 cars working up on the high line. That's going to be the 95 of Dodson and the 8 of Spencer Tart. Nicholas Starling up there on the high line as well. And this is going to be a pack-style race, I think, at least for the first bit. And then these cars will start to get spread out as they started to already towards the back of the pack. The front very grouped up right now, and it's side-by-side, double wide on lap 2 here, making their way down the backstretch. And I will try and keep track of some of these drivers as best as I can. Some of the numbers do not match up to what you're seeing on the scoring. We've got 2 number 8s in here. Spencer Tart on the inside line in that number 8 is the actual number 8, and up on the high line, that should be Chris Parkman in what shows the 8 Kodak car, but that is the number 13. So just keep that in mind as we are going through the race here tonight. Just a couple miscues with the paint schemes, but oh, we've got a car down on the apron. That's number 12 of Wineland trying to catch up with him. And he goes straight into the wall, I believe, but that's going to bring out caution number 1. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Let's go take a look. They're making their way out of turn 2. You see the 95 just kind of kicked down a little bit, hits the 12. 12 slams the inside wall with the driver's side of that car, and just not a whole lot you can do in that situation. Let's get a closer look from the nose of Wineland's car. See, he's just making his way out of turn 2, starting to, yeah, he's going pretty straight, drifts up a little, but the 95 definitely cut down. Just kind of going for the same real estate, and it is tough coming out of that corner. So first caution of the night on lap number 3. So they're now working under lap number 4. Logan Kress still your leader out there in that nice yellow, white, and black. Number 31, but that's going to be number 1 on our scoring grid. So I think these drivers are going to take tires. Tire wear is going to be very important here tonight. And while these guys make their way down pit road, we want to give a big shout out once again to Shorba's iRacing Paints, a sponsor for the National Series and the league here. You can find some great looking paints over on Facebook at Shorba's iRacing Paints. They offer paint schemes and custom paint schemes anywhere between $5 and $20. So head on over there and send them a message and see what kind of an awesome scheme you can get for your own car here in iRacing. Go back to the main scene and check out what happens at the end of pit lane. Cress gonna win the battle off pit road. Second is gonna be Chris Parkman in that Kodak machine, and number 43 of Nicholas Starling third off pit road. But we have two cars that decided to stay out. That's the number 42 of Brandon Andrews and the number 53 of Daniel Hallis. So track position important here, and with the stages tonight being at laps 25 and 50, these guys maybe just going to try and gain track position through strategy and try and hold on here for the next 20 laps or so. But caution laps are very long around this place. We are going to run a couple commercials, and we'll be right back with the green flag action. All right, and we are back, about to go green flag racing once again here from Michigan. The iRacing Fantasy Cup Series. Logan Kress sitting on the outside of the front row. Brandon Andrews did stay out during the pit cycle, and he gets a good start. Doesn't spin the tires. Kress not able to get a great jump there, but still going to hang alongside Chris Parkman there in the bright yellow Kodak machine. 95 of Carl Dodson right on the back bumper there. And on the outside, we've got Nicholas Starling, who's left a little bit of a gap. The 95 jumps up high. We've got 3 wide now going down the back straightaway. And all these drivers spread out, bobbing and weaving, trying to find a position going down into turn number 3. So we are still 3 wide. You can see the number 6 of Josh Bearden in the middle of the 43. And I can't see who that is down low. That's the number 10 of Justin Boyles. And here comes the 8 down to the inside. Really aggressive move down there. As he was not able to get that to work. Still 3 wide, 6 right there, pinching down the 8, almost contact. They keep it going. They were 4 wide temporarily there. So incredible action here at Michigan in the early going tonight. As we've got 3 wide still. We've got the 6 of Bearden down low, the 43 in the middle now. The 00 has made his way forward up into 7th position, but you can see the different techniques here, and some drivers are going to be better up high, some are going to be better down low. We're taking a look at this number 19 Tracker Camry of Justin DeReich, currently riding just outside the top 10 in 12th position after starting in 19th, so he has made good progress forward. And just behind him, his teammate there in the number 11, he has dropped back a few positions, so struggling early in that number 11 FedEx machine, but we'll see if he can recover to get back up inside the top 10. Carl Dodson has taken the lead now. Logan Kress battling hard on the outside, and these two I think are going to be the ones to watch, just starting on the front row. But now Jeffrey McConey right up to the back bumper of the 95 going down into turn number 1. Almost contact with the outside right front fender on his car, along with Logan Kress's left rear. It was almost contact, but they keep it straight, keep it going. No issues. Yeah, we got contact on the straightaway. The 6 of Josh Bearden, looks like he drifted up. We've got cars sliding down the back stretch, down onto the apron and into the inside wall. I'm trying to see who that was. That looks like the number 13, potentially. Trying to catch up with these guys. That brings out caution number 2. So let's go see what happened. All right, I think I figured out what happened here. So 17 of Rick Webb in the middle kind of gets pinched up there. 6 drifts up into his teammate, and 17 slams into the 2, and then we've got cars flying all over the place. 21 involved. A handful of other drivers caught up here in wreck number 2 tonight on lap number 12. So that brings out our second caution of the night. And let's go back up to the front of the field. Carl Dodson was in the lead when all that action took place. And he's led 3 laps here tonight after starting on the front row. Logan Kress just behind him. Started on the pole, he's led 4 laps, but I believe all these drivers coming back in now for 4 fresh tires once again. The 42 of Brandon Andrews, who stayed out and led those caution laps, lost a lot of track position all the way back in 7th after just a couple laps. So we see the number 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin trying to get a lap led here. And he does. He crosses the line before these drivers do on pit road, and he will stay out for the moment. See if we can get a better view at the end of pit road. Let's see who wins the battle off. See one driver already moving forward. That's Jeffrey McConey in the 00. Not quite fast enough to beat Logan Kress out, but Kress will win the battle. McConey, and then it's Carl Dodson just behind those 2. So a little shuffling between the drivers on fresh tires now, and we've got Taylor Butcher Benjamin And Daniel Hallis once again stays out under caution. Last time he stayed out for a couple laps and then eventually came in to take 4 fresh tires. We'll see if he does the same thing here once again. And by him running down there on the apron, I believe that is a signal that he's going to come in here in just a lap or so. So to recap so far, about 1/8 of the way through the race, 2 cautions, 3 lead changes. We've already seen our 3 leaders. That's Logan Kress, Carl Dodson, and the number 42 of Brandon Andrews are the 3 leaders we've had here tonight. And taking a look at the weather, track temp has dropped a couple degrees, and I think it will continue to. So that should affect the handling on these cars, and we'll see how these drivers cope with it and how they adjust. As it looks like the number 53 making his way down pit road into his box nicely, and he's going to take 4 fresh tires. Taylor Butcher Benjamin deciding to stay out under caution here, so he will take over that lead position. He's led 2 laps so far. And we are going to cut to another quick commercial break and be right back with more green flag racing action. Pace car lights are off. Field is going double file now. So only 1 more lap under caution here. And I think the cream has already risen to the top. Jeffrey McConey definitely has short run speed. He has been able to charge up through the field. Starting in 18th, he's in 3rd after just 15 laps. So that's 1 position per lap by the looks of it. And Jeff in chat here on YouTube saying that he doesn't have any teammates in the race, so he's just hoping this race goes well. He's testing a new setup here, and I'd say so far it looks great, at least on the short run. We'll have to see how that car handles as the tires start to wear out a bit more. But we haven't had that opportunity yet, so we'll see how that 00 performs as the race goes on. Right now he is sitting in a good position to potentially challenge for a win. But on the front row here for the restart, it's going to be Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that number 11 FedEx machine. To his outside, it's Logan Kress, the pole sitter here tonight. Pace car ducks down into pit road. Field waiting for the green flag to fly. Green flag is out. We are back underway here at Michigan. Pretty even start by the 2 leaders. Kress actually with the advantage now going down into turn number 1. He's got a big push from Carl Dodson on that outside line. We'll see what he can do here to try and capture the lead back. So we've got action a little bit farther back. Brandon Andrews kind of checking up the number 8 behind him. That Kodak machine, as well as the 19 of Justin DeReich, all in line and trying to make their way forward. We see the 41 jump up high with his teammate Justin Boyles in front of him, and they choose that outside line. Now more cars up high than there are down low, and heavy battling going on throughout the field. Up at the front though, Taylor Butcher Benjamin doing a good job trying to hold off Logan Kress. And we are 3 wide coming to the start-finish line. It's going to be Kress with the lead that time by. And they're going to head down into turn number 1, 3 wide. Almost 4 wide, the 00 peeking in there, but decides to back out of it and just instead push the number 11 up towards the front. You can see how well that 00 turns down at the exit of the corner, and just tons of grip in that car tonight as he is now to the inside of Butcher Benjamin. Up high, it's Logan Kress and Carl Dodson, 3 wide, 2 rows deep at the front of the field. And out at front, it's going to be Jeffrey McConey taking over the lead. Bring up our ticker once again, but McConey charging up from 18th already to the lead, so 1 position per lap, and he has made his way to the front. 3 wide still, 2 rows deep behind him, actually 3 rows deep now. Nearly 4 wide for a moment there. We see the 6 of Josh Bearden deciding to stick down low, but it looked like he was maybe going to jump in the middle like we've seen him do a couple times tonight. And he makes that move now on the back straightaway, peeks the nose in there, but really nowhere to go. As the 41 just in front of him, that's Chris Etcheper, backed by that number 8 Kodak machine. Down low, we got Spencer Tart. As up in the front, it looks like the 11 losing some ground now, starting to check up the number 3 of Alexander Pelican. Brandon Andrews has made his way back forward up into that 3rd position. We got contact. That is the number 8, Spencer Tart, going around. And heavy damage on that machine. I don't know exactly what happened. It looked like just slight contact on turn entry. But that is going to end the race for Spencer Tart, or at least a competitive race. It looks like he's not smoking. Maybe able to get some damage fixed, but not the way that driver wanted to see things go. Going down into the corner there. Let's go take a look and see what happened to bring out caution. So heading down into the corner, you see a little contact with the 41. 8 gets squirrely because of that. Oh, head on into the number 9 that slams him into the outside wall. Let's take a look from that number 9 Chevy Camaro, if I can find him on track here. That's Troy Sabat. You can see the damage on that machine. Let's go to his nose cam and see what that looked like for this driver. Really nowhere for him to go. He got on the brakes, but couldn't turn down any harder than he already was, and the 8 car was just directly in front of him. So that's going to definitely hurt the chances of Troy in that number 9 Napa machine. We'll see who decides to come down pit road this time. Jeffrey McConey out in front. Definitely has a lot of speed in the 00 Starcom Camaro, and see a little bit of action here at the entrance of pit road. Some mind games being played. Logan Kress, Carl Dodson, Taylor Butcher Benjamin also staying out once again. Nicholas Starling, Chris Etchberg, Josh Bearden, Chris Parkman, Justin DeReich, John Jones, Timothy Latham, Travis Manning, Richard Springer, a handful of others all staying out. So about 15 to 20 cars staying out on track. And with the stage coming so soon, this is just probably a play for stage points, since they all have around 8 laps on their tires. We'll have to see how this all goes. And 10-4 there. Jacob, I will try and refresh our paint schemes. Speaking of paint schemes, go check out Shorba's iRacing Paints on Facebook. They offer creative services for creating your own custom paint schemes, anywhere between $5 and $20. You can contact Jacob down there in the chat if you'd like, and he can get you hooked up with a beautiful new paint scheme for whatever car you may want. So big shout out to Shorba's iRacing Paints once again, and we're trying to refresh our paint schemes here and see if the numbers update. See a couple cars that have changed, but not all of them just yet. Out in front, it is Logan Kress, who has led a good amount of laps here. Now 9 laps led out of the 22 that have been run. I believe we're going to go at least one more lap under caution. So we're going to run another quick commercial and be right back. All right, and we are back. The field making their way through turns 3 and 4, and a big shout out once again to Rapid Fired Pizza, the associate sponsor here for the Fantasy Cup Series, as Logan Kress and Carl Dodson back on the front row. These drivers with 10 laps on their tires. Green flag back out. Only have to hold on for a couple more. Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the number 11 with almost 20 laps on his tires. Only about half of those green flag laps, so not too much of a difference between most of the drivers out here. So we've got a lot of single file action at this point at the very end of the stage. Only 1.5 laps to go. It will be at the end of lap number 25 that the stage will end. Let's bring our ticker up so you can check out who's in the top 10 at the end of the stage. Just checking out Travis Manning here, currently in 11th. Up in front of him, Timothy Latham and John Jones up high. Jones in that number 15. Caution back out. Justin Carey involved in this, the number 21 U.S. Air Force machine. He gets it back righted and going again, but that, I believe, is going to end stage number 1. So you can see on the left your top 10. It's Logan Kress. Actually, yep, this is just cycling back out for me. Logan Kress and Butcher Benjamin in 2nd, Carl Dodson 3rd, Starling in 4th, DeReich 5th, Bearden 6th, Etcheper 7th, Chris Parkman in 8th, Jones 9th, and Latham rounding out the top 10 in stage number 1. Let's go back actually and take a look at what brought out our caution here. All right, back to the action. 42 gets turned by the 21. He goes around, slams into the wall. On the outside there, car lifted off the ground, the back tires at least, and everybody avoids him as far as I can tell. So Justin Carey getting away with relatively light damage, I guess, for the situation, but definitely not going to hurt his chances here tonight. Let's go back up to the front. And a lot of these drivers staying out to capture the stage points, and we can run through those top 10 once again. Although I think some things are shaking up. A few drivers made their way down pit road, Carl Dodson included. That number 95 Dumont Jets Toyota Camry. And a few drivers with connection issues here tonight. So that is a scary sight when you're going down into the corner at 200 miles an hour and you lose that driver in front of you. But everybody doing a pretty solid job here tonight. We've had 4 cautions, 8 total lead changes so far. So the action at the front has been hot and heavy for sure. And thank you, King Sloshbuckler, if you're enjoying the stream here tonight. If you could give us a follow on Twitch or like or subscribe over on YouTube, we would really appreciate it. And anyone else in chat or viewing tonight's race, we thank you for tuning in to VSPEED. We are live each and every race that we broadcast on Twitch and YouTube. For the iRacing Fantasy Series, we're bringing you the action Friday and Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be broadcasting the rest of the season, excluding a few races, right here on Twitch and YouTube on VSPEED. You can also find us over on Facebook, where we announce each and every race we broadcast, including these ones, the American Sim Racing Championship and the Ford Entertainment Group iRacing Flea Market Series. We also broadcast some dirt racing as well, the Outlaw Dirt Series, UMP modified, so quite a variety here on VSPEED, and we've got some more exciting news coming up in the next few weeks in terms of broadcasts. So stay tuned for that. And another bit of news on the VSPEED side, we used to produce iFlags. We had a special design called the Gen 2, and we've partnered up with iRacing iFlag, who is the top manufacturer and supplier of iFlags to drivers here in iRacing. And they have, we have worked together to have them take over the manufacturing and creation of those units, the Gen 2 units, which is an improved design over your standard iFlag. Has a lot more capability. So we are very excited to be working with them. And if you're not already familiar with iRacing iFlag, head on over there to iRacingiflag.com. So you can check out their products. They've got some new merch coming out as well. We're helping them with a lot of those things. And VSPEED as a company is not just broadcasting. We also do custom design work, including and up to full rigs, full sim racing rigs. We worked with some of the top sim racers in the world on coming up with custom parts and pieces for their rigs. And we also offer basically any kind of design service you would want, whether that's logo design, branding, marketing pieces to help you grow your league. We can help you with YouTube broadcast covers, whatever type of graphics you may need to get your league up and running. We also are working on a few different wheel conversion sets, so you can convert your G27 and G29 wheels. So really looking forward to that. Those products will be coming out here in the next couple months. We're working hard to figure out our supply chain for some of those things, but it'd be an affordable way to improve your iRacing experience without necessarily spending all the money for like a direct drive wheel or something like that. So Pace car lights are off. We're working the last lap of this caution, and it is Logan Kress and Taylor Butcher Benjamin on the front row for the restart here. And Kress has really been on top of it on these restarts. Only really one scenario where he did not get the best restart, but he has done a solid job so far, and he's going to be the one calling the shots here on this one. Green flag back in the air, and the 31 underway. Hard on the accelerator pedal. The number 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin dropping in line behind. The 43 of Nicholas Starling also in line, and top 5 single file, but it is 3 wide. Back behind them, the 95 trying to make his way back forward. That's Carl Dodson on fresh tires. And he is next to the number 10 of Justin Boyles, makes his way past. And the number 4 of Jeremy Boucher stuck up there on the high line. No help, really, no drafting help, as the 10 drops right down in front of Brandon Andrews there in the 42. And we've got one driver going around, that's the 18 of Mike Springer, able to hold on to it for the most part, but contact with the 36, he's going to overcorrect, slide through the grass. We'll see, he locks it down. We'll see if a caution comes out. He's trying to get moving, but stuck on the edge of the grass. And that's going to bring out another caution here tonight. The 18 getting on the apron. Let's go back and take a look at what happened there to bring out this caution. You can see Mike Springer down low, and that number 18 just catches those left side tires down below the yellow lines. 36 tries to check up, gets run into by the 9, and they just kind of pile up from there. But nobody else involved, as the 18 really was out of the way and out of the racing groove, but iRacing decided to throw the caution since there were other cars coming by, and it was a potential hazard for him to be down there. 36 ended up driving down through the pit lane, and should be getting his black flags cleared at this moment. So we'll see him catch back up to the field, but not really a whole lot the 36 could do. So Valenzuela able to escape with relatively minor damage, I think, based on the scenario you know, that he was put in. But Logan Kress still out front. That is caution number 5. We're on lap 31. And Will Owens in chat there on YouTube. I will do my best to try and remember to say that. Sometimes you get caught up in the action on screen and don't necessarily remember some of those things, but I will do the best I can. So let's see who decides to come down pit road. Chris Parkman in the number 13 deciding to stay out. We've got Nicholas Starling in the 43 making his way down, as well as Jeremy Boucher. Also the number 3 of Alex Pelican making his way down pit road. It looks like the 6 of Bearden deciding to come down pit road as well. So a little bit of action on pit road for these crews, but the majority of the drivers deciding to stay out during this pit cycle. And let's take a look at some of these drivers who are a bit farther back on the field. Drivers off of the lead lap. We've got Rick Webb 1 lap down in the number 17. Brian Pizzakemi in the 48, currently 3 laps down. Mike Miljanovic in the number 27 is currently 8 laps down. Eric Wineland in that number 12 after the early contact is currently sitting 9 laps down after starting pretty close to the front. Yeah, started in 3rd. He's currently scored 32nd position. So unfortunate for that driver. Just kind of wrong place, wrong time early on in this one. And we still have 28 drivers on the lead lap. The last of them being Chris Hansen in the number 37. Just in front of him, Ryan Strunk. Both of those drivers making their way off pit road. And there we can see the beautiful face of Corey LaJoy plastered all over the number 32 of Adam Westfield. Currently scored in 13th, up from his starting position in 22nd, doing a good job here in that Old Spice machine. And we'll see if he can continue moving towards the front. Let's just kind of take a look through our field. Chris Etcheper started in 16th, currently in 12th right there. Justin Boyles in this number 10 Smithfield machine, back a couple positions from where he started. And just trying to see, who's made moves throughout the field here tonight. Nicholas Starling started in 5th, but he did just pit, so that's why he's back in 17th. So a few drivers coming and going throughout the race. And it's still early, still in the first third of the race, and these drivers have the opportunity to make adjustments on their cars. And Logan Kress probably hasn't made any, as that car has been out front for the majority of the race here tonight. I believe we're going to be taking the one to go here in just a moment, but we're going to go side by side and be right back before the green flag. All right, field double file working their way through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if we can get some good green flag racing in here as we are about just past the first third of the way through the race. Logan Kress has run out front pretty much all race, but he hasn't had a lot of green flag laps to be challenged, and Jeffrey McConey on slightly fresher tires has made his way once again back up into the top 5. Green flag back out, and we are underway once again from Michigan here in the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series. The 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin jumping straight to the inside line. He's going to get a nice push here from McConey going down into turn number 1. Travis Manning up on the high line in that number 22 Pennzoil machine. Really no help from behind other than from the number 13 of Chris Parkman. We've got cars jumping in and out, and here we see Taylor Butcher Benjamin, oldest tires on the field, 30 laps since his last pit stop, and he is challenging for the lead. McConey deciding to go with the number 31 down low. And we see Carl Dodson once again making a bold move up the middle. Huge run out of turn number 4, and he's going to get right to the back bumper of Butcher Benjamin. 0-0 down low now. Jeffrey McConey challenging for the lead. 3 wide once again, almost 4 wide. And we'll see if these guys can keep it together and make it back around before anybody makes contact. 95 all over the back bumper now of Kress. Down low, it's McConey with a push from Daniel Hallis. So those drivers trying to move towards the front as McConey washing up a little bit on that inside line, able to stay off of the 22. And up at the front, Dodson has once again started to challenge for the lead. I think he may have led that lap. He did by just about 0.03 of a second. So very close at the line. Logan Kress down low, Dodson up high. And 3 wide right now between Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, struggling now on those old tires. The number 10 of Justin Boyles going on by, as well as Brandon Andrews. With the 11 trying to hold on as long as he can. The 41 of Chris Etcheper now sliding on by. Here comes the 6 of Bearden. And a handful of other drivers just going to try and capitalize on the 11 having very old tires. Up at the front, we've got some tight racing going on. The 00 of McConey, a big move down to the inside of Logan Kress. He powers to the front, and we'll see if he's able to clear the 31 out of the corner. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to, as Kress has a huge push from Carl Dodson. Up on that high line, huge run, 31 clearly out in front. The 95 able to take over second for the moment. We'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. As he's riding about a groove higher than Kress. Get some air on the nose of that number 95 Dumont Jets Camry. The 53 jumping way up the track. Daniel Hallis switching from the inside all the way to the 3rd groove up in front of Travis Manning, and trying to get a push that way. Here comes McConey now behind the 95, and we'll see what he can do down the back straightaway. But I would say the 3 fastest cars on track right now are your top 3. McConey has come from nowhere at the start of this race and has been up here since lap number 15. And here comes Chris Parkman back towards the front. 41 of Chris Etcheper making a charge now. He is on fresher tires than anybody else in front of him in that number 41 Stanley machine, and he has a good push from Daniel Hallis now up on the high line as they are approaching the top 4, who have been side by side for quite a few laps now. And a little farther back, Justin Boyles right on the back bumper of the 22 going down into turn 1. He backs off a little bit, but down low, Brandon Andrews with a huge run with the push from the 19 of Justin DeReich. But DeReich now goes down low, trying to make that move into turn number 3. Doesn't get the run that I think he'd like to see there, and going to maintain his position currently. But here comes the 3 of Alex Pelican down low. Going to try and make a move going down into turn 1. No, he's tucks back in line. But behind them, the 4 of Boucher and the 14 of Richard Springer going into the corner. They make contact. The 4 of Boucher able to keep that contact to a minimum, and they keep it going. But the 10 sideways out of the corner, Justin Boyles able to hold on to it. He's way down below the white line. Going to get back up into the racing groove and try and carry on. But let's go back and take a look at what happened there. I didn't see contact necessarily. They were coming out of, a little contact between him and the 19, sent him sideways, but good job holding on to that race car and preventing another caution from coming out. As up at the front, McConey now to the inside of Logan Kress, and we'll see if he can make this pass work this time by. He slides up a bit, Kress backs out of it, and McConey will complete the pass. But McConey now already passed back by Kress. Sorry, we were checking some of the messages there in chat. And contact between the 95 and 00 as they're making their way down the straightaway. Dodson doing his best to side draft the 00, and it's working. The 0 gets dragged back. 95 right back to the bumper of the 31 of Logan Kress. Down low behind them, it's Chris Etcheper making his way forward, not able to get the grip out of the corner. Had a lot of wheel input into it there. You could tell just by the way that car shifted down the track at the exit of the corner. Now we're 3 wide, 3 yellow cars side by side. It's the 22 of Travis Manning trying to pull something off down low, but that is a hard move to make, and he's got nobody behind him. The 42 starting to come up, but he jumps to the outside. The 19 of DeReich has recovered from the contact earlier and is still on his way inside the top 10. Daniel Hallis up there running in that 10th position next to him. The 19, you can see just how tight that car gets out of the corner, and he has to back out of it and tuck in behind. And here comes Richard Springer up behind him. Jeremy Boucher not far off either, and he is on fresh tires compared to a lot of these drivers. Side by side now for second place, it's Carl Dodson and Jeffrey McConey. tight battling all throughout the field. We are approaching the halfway point, and it will be the end of stage 2 at the completion of lap 50. And no one has gotten away. Kress has been out front for quite a while today. Let's take a look. 31 laps out of the 45 that have been run, but McConey has led a couple. Carl Dodson has led a few, and they are trying to potentially win the stage here. They can make the move at the right time. It's all about timing your run and choosing who you go with. But Kress starting to separate as these two continuing to battle, and they're just going to drag each other back from the number 31. But here comes the 13, that actually the number 8 of Chris Parkman, the Kodak machine. Huge push behind Jeffrey McConey, but nothing really happened from that. Kress still starting to pull away, and I think the aero push starting to play a factor at this point. We've had our longest run of the day at this point. Let's take a look a little farther back. Side-by-side battle between the 6 of Josh Bearden, who has done a good job after his pit stop to get back up well inside the top 10. Brandon Andrews stuck down low with no help, and that's really going to cost him here. He'll probably drop behind the 22. He dives really hard into the corner, washing up, able to stay off the 22. McConey struggling into the wall out of turn 2. Not sure what happened, but he's got damage on both sides of that race car, so clearly somebody got into him. And let's take a look. Going down into the corner, Kress out in front of the 95. Dodson drifts up the track, gets into the 00, which shoots him into the wall. And good job minimizing the damage by McConey, but he drops all the way outside the top 10. And under pressure now from Jeremy Boucher, who will drive right on past on the inside line. 00 going to struggle with straightaway speed, but Dodson has taken over the lead as they're approaching the lap car of Rick Webb, who is already 1 lap down. He's going to go a second down here in just a moment. They barely avoid that car going down into the corner. Kress all over the back bumper of Carl Dodson, who has now taken over the lead for the 2nd time in this race. And he has good speed, but you can see Kress just able to drive right up behind people. Huge speed on the straightaways, and he's been pretty good in the corners. Really close on turn entry. Trying to get that driver loose up high, and it looks like it worked, as he's going to be able to make the pass out of turn number 2. Carl Dodson getting side drafted in the corner, but he's going to try and side draft right back as they make their way down into turn 3. The 95 back up on the outside of Logan Kress. Coming to lap number 50, it will be the white flag for this stage. And they are still side-by-side battling. If the 95 can get to the quarter panel and drag him back, that may work. But they have separated themselves pretty well from Chris Parkman here in the Kodak machine. And then Chris Etcheper at 4th. Josh Bearden under pressure from Travis Manning. That's for 5th and 6th. And Dodson able to pull off the pass now through 1 and 2. This is for the stage win. We'll see if he can hold off Logan Kress and his very fast race car for the final 2 corners. Kress down low, trying to make that move through 3 and 4. They're side by side right now. Dodson up high, the preferred line with the momentum, but Kress a huge run down low. We'll see what he can do. It's going to be a little bit too much to deal with as Dodson captures that stage win in the number 95 Dumont Jets Toyota Camry. A great battle there between those 2 drivers. Great green flag run to the end of the stage by all the drivers in the field. And Dodson coming out on top of stage number 2. Logan Kress finishing 2nd in stage 2. Chris Parkman 3rd. Chris Etcheper in 4th. Josh Bearden in 5th. Daniel Hallis in 6th. Travis Manning 7th. Brandon Andrews 8th. Alexander Pelican 9th, and Justin DeReich rounds out the top 10 in the stage, earning stage points. So congratulations to all those drivers. Congratulations to Carl Dodson on his stage win. And the longest that anyone was out on tires and fuel, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, 47 laps for that driver. So Obviously, that Toyota Camry getting pretty good gas mileage, as that's over 90 miles on the tank and quite a few laps on those tires, but many of them were run under caution, so that does help. But he is definitely going to want some fresh rubber on that car. And to recap tonight's race, we have had 6 cautions so far, 13 lead changes. Some great, very intense battling at the front of the pack. And a nice green flag run there to end stage number 2. These drivers all make their way down onto pit road. I believe that was a 20-lap run to the end of the stage. So nice to see everybody clean it up. But we're going to cut quickly to another commercial break, and we'll be right back with the green flag racing action. All right, and we are back working our way down the back straightaway. Pace car lights are off. Drivers are side by side. We're going to be beginning the final stage of the race. And we want to give a big shout out to the sponsor tonight, Alpha Ornamental Metals. They solve your ornamental metal needs, including steel, aluminum, and iron. They are also the home to the STREAMLINE Railing. You can check them out on Facebook. It's Alpha Ornamental Metals. Big shout out to those guys for sponsoring here, as well as Rapid Fired Pizza. Commercial makes me hungry every single time. Logan Crest gonna get him going here. Green flag back out and underway for the final stage here at Michigan in the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series. 95 of Dodson, not a great start, and we've already heard in the chat on YouTube that McConey not too happy with the move that driver made, so we'll have to see once those drivers get near each other on track again if anything happens. But a little bit of drama building here in the second half of the race. Kress out in front. He's got a big push from the 41 Stanley machine of Chris Etcheper. Dodson still working the high line. Big push from the 8 up there, and 53 of Daniel Hallis down low. Gonna try and make a move coming out of turn 4. It's a good run. The 41 got sideways, but able to keep up the speed. And 3 wide now. The 41 Etcheper makes a move to the middle. And side by side, very close to the 95 of Dodson. Dodson had to go all the way up to the wall to avoid contact, but they keep it straight, keep it going. As the 6 of Josh Bearden making a big move down low, as well as Justin DeReich up the middle. He gets right to the back bumper. Very aggressive move on turn entry. Almost gets into Alex Pelican up there in the 3 car. But they have done a good job so far these first couple laps with all the chaos that's happening on track. And with this new package, it is quite a bit different than the old Michigan, which showed cars getting more and more spread out. As we see Brandon Andrews struggling up high now, maybe trying to back out as he sees all this bobbing and weaving going on in front of him. Maybe doesn't like the look of it, as he has kind of started a smaller second pack here. And we see up closer to the front, Chris Parkman dives down low underneath Chris Etcheper, gets onto the apron, able to keep control of the race car. The 95 of Carl Dodson leading that high line up in front. Doesn't really have anyone right on his bumper, but able to carry good speed out of turn number 4. And the 41 now to the back bumper, gonna give him a push down into turn 1. Cress up to block, not there in time. Here comes the 00 of McConey up the middle, 3 wide between the 41 and the 8. Contact coming out of the corner. Oh, and McConey goes around, turning the 53. Here's the 6, able to avoid, but he's gonna slam the inside wall. Josh Bearden. Heavy contact with the left side there, as we saw multiple drivers go around, including McConey and Daniel Hallis. Heavy damage on that race car on the right rear. I think he's going to have an issue with the axle. That car maybe going to crab walk here as he makes his way back around the track. Let's go back and take a look at what brought that caution out. And I'm going to go to our far chase camera here as they made their way out of turn number 2. 00 drifting up a little bit. Contact 41 touches him a second time. That hooks the 53. And you can see the 6 really nowhere to go for Bearden. He did the best to avoid that, locking down that car. Let's go. See 00 just right in front of him. He hooks left. Maybe could have gone right, but in the moment, you really just have to make a split-second decision. And I think he did the best that he could there, but going to come away with some pretty heavy damage to the left side of that Ford Mustang. So went about 5 laps there under green. Everybody making their way back down pit road. We'll see if anyone decides to stay out. The 96 deciding to stay out here. Is way down my leaderboard. Multiple laps down is Timothy Latham. Going to try and get a wave around here, get one of those laps back. Another one going to try and get laps back. It's Brian Pizzakemi in the number 48 machine. We haven't heard much from him tonight. Car looks pretty clean. He actually gets the lucky dog here. Rick Webb staying out. He does have quite a bit of damage, only one lap down at the moment. Justin Boyles came down pit road on this stop, not a surprise, but he is 2 laps down. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the number 10. And working our way off pit road, Daniel Hallis. The fastest stop of any, oh, he did not come down pit road. He did stay out, and he will be your current leader. Hasn't led any laps yet, but he'll get 1 lap led if he makes it back around. You can see how damaged that car is. I think he's got some significant mechanical issues on the rear end of that race car. And it's that, yeah, that right rear cambered pretty nicely. Not the way you want it as he makes his way onto pit road now. Not going to lead a lap here, and potentially going to get most of that damage fixed on this stop, but it's pretty heavy mechanical damage, so we'll have to see what he is able to do. And to recap, that's caution number 7, 2 of them being for stages. The other 5 for, well, actually 6 of them for incidents, 1 of them coinciding with the end of the stage. Right around lap 25. We had a nice long green flag run there to end stage number 2. But back to beating and banging as these cars were all grouped up together on another restart. And with this new package, it's very difficult to run very clean laps here because the cars get so bunched up and they're so evenly matched. But Logan Kress, I think, with the fastest car on track right now. The 00 was very quick. He is currently scored in the 24th position, and with damage all around that race car, maybe going to struggle. Although we did see him making his way back forward, he's going to have more damage now after that wreck. And we're actually going to do a full field run through and see where everybody started and where they are currently running. Logan Kress out front has led 44 of the 62 laps. Has really put on a dominating performance so far tonight. Carl Dodson in second. Started second. He has led 8 laps. Chris Parkman started 4th, currently running in 3rd. Alex Pelican started in 11th. He is up to 4th, so good run for him. Travis Manning started 13th up into the top 5. Justin DeReich started in 19th and all the way up into the 6th position. Brandon Andrews started 15th. He's up into 7th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, some interesting strategy calls throughout the race, but he is up a couple spots. Troy Savitt in the number 9 has recovered nicely after getting involved in a wreck early on in this race. Started 23rd up to 9th. John Jones started 27th up into the top 10. Jordan Brockle started 26th in 11th. Richard Springer actually jumped around. Justin Carey in 12th after starting in 17th. Richard Springer 13th after starting in 25th. Mike Springer in 14th after starting 12th. Chris Etcheper 15th, started 16th. These guys are kind of jumping around on my scoring here. Curtis Valenzuela having a good run, even though he got caught up in a wreck earlier on in this race. Alex Link inside the top 20 as well after starting towards the back. James Lowe inside the top 20 after starting towards the back. And Ryan Strunk doing a good job here, rounding out the top 20. But back at the front of the field, it is Logan Kress and Carl Dodson, the 2 fastest drivers throughout the race so far. And they're once again leading the way. Waiting for that green flag. Back underway here at Michigan. Coming down to the final third of the race. We'll see what these guys can do to keep it green and get some good racing action in. And Chris James, there were no pre-race interviews, but I do like the suggestion of interviewing drivers during cautions. It could help pass some time. So you know, we'll keep that in mind for the upcoming broadcast. See what we can do. Maybe we can even do that if we get a couple more cautions here tonight. Logan Kress still out in front, under pressure now from Chris Parkman in that Kodak machine up on the highline. 95 of Dodson, huge run up behind him, right to the back bumper, going to push him down into turn number 1. And back behind them, the 42 of Brandon Andrews peeking to the middle of the 22 of Manning, as well as the 3 of Alex Pelican. Pelican losing ground now up on the highline, but he's going to get a push from Justin DeReich as they make their way down the backstretch. And at the front, it's 3 wide for the lead. Kress up into the Kodak machine. And that's going to take out Carl Dodson, shove him all the way up into the wall. And he's going to lose a lot of ground, already outside the top 10 and losing more. He is all the way back to 15th position after that exchange. One of the fastest drivers. We'll have to see if he can recover. But right now, Logan Kress able to take over the lead once again. But he has a hard-charging Travis Manning right on the back bumper, and behind them it's Justin DeReich side by side with Chris Parkman, and down low behind them, Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting to make his way back forward in that number 11 FedEx machine. And starting to get single file now. Some of these drivers more spread out than before, but we still have some side-by-side action a little farther back. Troy Sabat down low, going 3 wide now behind the 43 of Nicholas Starling. So the 41 of Chris Etcheper up on the high line with a push now from the 18 of Springer. And Carl Dodson has dropped in the line, but he goes 3 wide now to the middle. We'll see if he can make the move here in 3 and 4. Big run through the turn. He gets up behind the 43, the 18 up into the wall. It's going to cost him some speed. Big push from the 95 to the 43. And he is moving back towards the top 10. I see smoke up here. Not sure what's going on. Maybe some contact. But Logan Kress out in front. And while we were watching that battle farther back, Justin DeReich now taking over second. Brandon Andrews up into third, battling side by side with Travis Manning there. Here comes the 19 down low. Into corner number 3. He gets right below Logan Kress. Not going to be able to pull off the move in this corner, I think, but he has some speed, obviously. The 22 jumps to the outside line. Nobody behind him. But pretty good run on the front straightaway here, going down into turn number 1, almost 200 miles an hour. And the 19 back to the inside of Kress. Caution is out once again. And let's see what happens. Involving a handful of drivers here. Looks like Chris Hansen, not Chris Hansen, Ryan Strunk, Curtis Valenzuela, who's having such a good run. He is smoking, and he's going to be out of this race. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to bring out this last caution. So we're taking a look with Curtis Valenzuela. Caution had already happened involving the 4 of Jeremy Boucher. And he turned the 77 up into the wall. Just a racing deal. Looks like 77 came up in front of him, but lots of drivers involved in this. Valenzuela, 77 of Ryan Strunk, heavily involved in this as well. So a few drivers who were making their way forward finally caught up in one of these accidents. And let's go back to the front, see if these guys make pit stops. And if they do, we'll try and get a oh, I missed it. I missed the lap number, but Logan Kress out in front. We'll see if they make it down pit road. and we'll try and interview him afterwards. He makes his way onto pit road. Looks like everybody going to join him here. I don't think anyone's going to try any strategy with nearly 10 laps on the tires now. He makes it down into his box pretty nicely, stops dead on the marks. Daniel Hallis did stay out. As we see, was that Josh Bearden? Nope. Brian Pizzicami getting back onto the lead lap in that number 48 machine. And with about a quarter of the race remaining, he is in pretty good position. Travis Manning, very quick stop, 13.6 seconds in that number 22 machine. He's going to win the battle off pit road. Logan Kress going to come out here in second. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth. Logan Kress, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
What's up, man?
Well, Logan, you've pretty much dominated here tonight, but we're coming down to the closing stages of the race. How's your car handling for you, and you think you're going to be able to get back up there and win this thing?
I mean, it's fine. Everybody's car is fine for the first 10 to 15 laps. We just can't get past 10 laps to spread out. But honestly, it depends. If it's a 10-lap run, it's anybody's race. And then if it's 15 to 20 lap run to the finish, or if we go green all the way to the end here, it's I like my chances.
Yeah, how important is the clean air here tonight, as well as the tires on the cars? We haven't gotten the long runs like you said, but we did get a 20-lap run, and it seemed like you were able to kind of stretch out in front. So, you think that was based on the clean air or the tires?
Yeah, I mean, after about 15 laps, you really want to be the leader because you can use more gas. But you're probably referring to the end of stage 2. Yeah, we probably would have pulled away more. We just had our tires had like a bunch of cycles on them. I think Carl had newer tires, but yeah, I'd much rather would want to be the leader if it comes down to it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the safest position to be. Although with this new package, really anything can happen anywhere on track. But we look forward to seeing if you can grab that top spot once again and maybe pull this off. So do some work out there, and we hope to talk to you later.
Thanks, man.
All right, so that was Logan Kress. I don't remember what room he was in. The number 1. So that should be Chip Ganassi Racing. Hopefully he jumps in there. No, that's the right room. We'll see what happens here. But he is currently in that second position. Travis Manning out in front. So it looks like the 53 once again coming down pit road. That's Daniel Hallis back in 22nd now. So he's played an interesting strategy here to stay out 1 lap longer than everybody else. And I don't know if he's actually led many laps tonight, but he does have damage on that race car now, and we'll see what he can do here in the closing stages. And I'll ask the next driver I interview what their favorite rapid fire pizza topping is. I didn't see the comment while I was talking to him in the booth here, but that is a great suggestion, and I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for interacting and watching on YouTube and Twitch tonight. And if you're just tuning in, this is VSPEED. We broadcast the iRacing Fantasy Series on Friday and Saturday nights for the remainder of their season, right here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also find us on Facebook, where we'll announce each and every race that we broadcast. And we have other leagues that we broadcast throughout the week as well. So if you want to get notified, hit that bell icon on YouTube. after you subscribed or hit follow on Twitch, and you should stay notified of any broadcasts that are going live. And a big shout out once again to all of our sponsors here tonight for tonight's race. It's Rapid Fired Pizza, Alpha Ornamental Metals, and Shorba's iRacing Paints. And we're about to get the green flag once again. It's Travis Manning on the front row this time. Driver we haven't seen towards really inside the top two, but he is in control of the race now. And we are about a quarter of the way from the end of this thing. Logan Kress in second place, one of the fastest drivers, if not the absolute fastest driver on track all night. Gonna try and reclaim that top spot as he's already to the back bumper of the 22, trying to make a move. Juke's left, Juke's right, but sticks in line now behind Manning as they go down into turn number 3. The 42 of Brandon Andrews trying to close in. 22 guarding that low line with everything he's got. Now top 4 in line. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to drop down into that 5th position in front of his teammate there, the 19 of Justin DeReich. Now the 11 actually to the inside of Chris Parkman. Going to try and make that move going down into turn 1. As Kress up to the outside now of Manning, not able to get the position on turn entry, but he's going to get it on exit, and he's got a big push from the 42 of Brandon Andrews. Those teammates working together to bypass, and it's going to be Kress out in front as caution is back out. And Richard Springer involved as well as Jeffrey McConey once again, so the 00. No luck tonight with so much speed in that race car. Really has struggled to stay out of trouble. But let's go back and see what happened here. Bring out another caution tonight. Coming out of turn number 2, looks like 66 gets up in front. 00 just washing up into Dodson. Not sure if that's payback somehow, but I think he paid more of the price there. You see the 96 of Timothy Latham involved. The 53 of Daniel Hallis once again involved. 48 just narrowly avoids him. That's Brian Pizzichemi after getting back on the lead lap. That car is totally clean. Let's see what happened with Dodson and the 00 though. Let's go to our far chase coming out of the corner. 95 comes down just a bit. And that sent the 00 down into the wall. Let's take a look at Latham. He was trying to avoid everything, I think. With all this action going on in front, he goes down low to avoid. The 14 comes down towards him. 96 bouncing off the wall. 53 spinning right there in front of him. Oh wow, and that's so close for Pizzichemi. Let's go to his helmet cam here. See, it's hard to. Oh wow, yeah, hard on the brakes there. It's really difficult to tell where a car is going to be going when it's spinning around like that at such slow speeds. And Logan Kress back out in front. Travis Manning into second. Brandon Andrews third. And let me see if I can grab somebody. We might talk to Brian Pizzichemi here after he gets out of his pit box. And we will ask him what his favorite rapid-fired pizza topping is. He's just sitting in the pit box, though. I don't know what he's getting done here. He finally gets moving. And let's see if I can find him down in our chat room here. There he is for Hendrick Motorsports. Let's see if I can drag him all the way up. There's a lot of rooms in here. Brian Pizzichemi, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Brian, you were a few laps down here early in the race. Was that an intentional strategy to kind of avoid all the trouble that's been going on throughout the field?
No, at the beginning of the race, while we were sitting on the grid, my internet just dropped, and I was stuck waiting for it to come back.
Well, you've done a good job avoiding all the trouble. Your car looks totally clean, but how worried were you there about almost getting into the 53 at the end of that last wreck?
I was very concerned. I thought he had it locked down, and then he started rolling. I about panicked at the end as like I saw my car just about smashes back in. I was getting a little concerned.
Yeah, I think it was only about 6 inches between you and that car, so great job avoiding that and surviving to this point. What's your strategy to try and move forward and, you know, potentially grab a win here tonight?
Right now is just kind of ride and wait to see what happens. With the amount of cautions we've had, it's just a matter of staying out of trouble.
And that is a nice, solid strategy. If you keep the car clean, you got a good shot of being there at the end. And one final question before we let you go back on your way. What is your favorite rapid-fired pizza topping, if you had to pick one?
Pepperoni.
All right. You heard it here, viewers. Brian's favorite topping is pepperoni. Thank you so much for your time, Brian. Good luck here tonight, and we'll drop you back in your room.
Thanks so much.
All right, so that was the 48 of Brian Pizzakemi of Hendrick Motorsports, back on the lead lap here. You heard he had a little bit of internet difficulty there at the start of the race, and he has recovered nicely. And Logan Kress has run a spectacular race so far, led 56 laps out of the 78 that have been run, and he's going to try and hold on, but he's got a lot of hard chargers behind him, so we'll see what he can do. One that I'm going to keep my eye on is the number 19 of Justin DeReich. He has not led any laps here yet, but he has done a great job getting up towards the front. I've seen him show speed throughout this race. He challenged for the lead at one point, but been running very quietly here inside the top 10. Only a touch of damage on the right rear of that car. And I think he may have the speed to take the victory here tonight after starting all the way back in 19th. He is charged up into the top 5. So that is my pick tonight if anybody's going to upset Logan Kress. If you want to comment down below in the chat your favorite driver or your pick to win tonight's race, we'll try and keep an eye on him here for the final 20 laps. And we've got one comment already. Keep an eye on the 43 of Nicholas Starling. We will see what he can do. He's run right inside the top 10 all day, and it is coming down to crunch time. That car looks pretty clean to me. Hope Star Racing on Twitch says, watch the 42 of Brandon Andrews. Definitely one of the fastest guys on track. He has led some laps here tonight, and definitely a good shot to win this one at this point, but still 20 to go. Anything can happen. It could be any one of these drivers. At least within the lead lap field. There are a couple laps down that do have a shot as well. 22 tries to jump to start. Logan Kress gets him going here. Green flag is out. We'll see if Manning able to get down in line, and he does. 42 of Brandon Andrews all the way up into third. And clears the 11 going down into turn 1. But top 5, once again, single file. Nicholas Starling drops down in line as well. So top 6, top 7 now, single file. And the 15 of John Jones, who's had connection issues as well, currently riding in 8th. Down in line, Jordan Brockle, huge push here from the 3 of Alex Pelican. Up on the high side, it's Alex Lincoln, that 51 Jacob Company's Ford Mustang. And here comes the 18 of Mike Springer, doing a great job as well, recovering from a couple incidents that he has been in. You can see all the damage on that car, but at the front, it's nose to tail, the top 4, then a small gap back to the 19 of DeReich and the 43 of Starling. And we got side-by-side battle now. The 11 of Butcher Benjamin to the high side of Brandon Andrews, and the 19 decides to go with him. Teammates working together on that high line. 22 of Manning jumps up there to throw a block, and he's going to cut down to the inside. Now it's going for the lead in turn number 3. Logan Kress, really no way to deal with that, and Manning able to clear coming out of the corner, but here comes Kress back with a run, and he's going to have a push from the 42, his teammate. 42 pushes him back up on that high line, and they're not quite clear yet, but big run up high as they brush the wall. And Logan Kress once again with the nose out front, but Manning fighting hard down on the inside line. and they are racing hard here inside the top 10. Really, all of them grouped up within 0.8 of a second of each other. And you can see the side-by-side battle here at the tail end of the top 10. That's Rockel and Springer, as we've got smoke coming out of the 15. Side by side for the lead now. It's the 19 of Justin DeReich making the move down low. He's got a push from his 11 teammate Taylor Butcher Benjamin down low, and 3 wide, 2 deep as the 41 drifting up almost into the 42, able to stay off of each other and keep it going. But that was a close call on turn entry there. Now the 19 of Justin DeReich in line with Manning as the 15 bounces off the wall. The 11 of Travis Taylor Butcher Benjamin. We've got a car sitting down on the grass. They're not sure exactly what that was, but the 11 down low, 3 wide now. Carl Dodson making his way back forward. The 95 had so much speed earlier on, but he has had some bad luck here in the last 20 or 30 laps, but back inside the top 10. And up to the back bumper of Chris Etchepar. Up at the front, though, it is not Logan Kress. It is the 22 of Manning and the 19 of DeReich. DeReich down low, trying to throw the block on the 41, and he will get the block completed, but not going to make anybody happy with that move. And here comes Kress back down to the inside line. Travis Manning up high, Kress down low, tries to power it through the corner, not able to get the run, and no help at the moment. The 42 is coming back up, but he is not going to want to go with the 40 or with the 22. He goes to the middle now, 4 wide across the line. Logan Kress getting shuffled back. Here comes Carl Dodson up the middle, still 4 wide. This is not going to work. Somebody's going to have to back out, still 4 wide. And 19 able to clear, drifts up, contact. There goes the 22 and the 41 into the wall. They keep it going straight, but that's heavy damage to those drivers. Let's go back and see what happened. You can see the 19 drifted up, and then just the domino effect, 41 shoots up into the 22. They're going to have steering damage, aero damage, all kinds of issues. And the cloud cover has come out now in 3 and 4. So at the front, the 19 takes out Kress. Kress into the inside wall, down through the grass. That is going to end his chance of a win today. He gets it back straight up onto the track now, trying to get it back under control. Let's go back and see what happened. That is a huge development. 19 and 31 side by side, hard contact. Kress nails the end of pit wall, and you can see the damage on that car, just very significant now. And he is all the way back in 19th position after leading 59 laps here tonight. Not going to be too happy about that. And up at the front, it's Brandon Andrews in the 42. Here's Carl Dodson right to the back bumper now. Dodson with damage. 42 with a pretty clean race car. 19 has damage, and the 11 right on his back bumper as well. So really 4-car breakaway. And then John Jones leading this second pack, but he goes up high. Contact into the wall there. He's in the wall. Now down into the 14. They're sliding down the back straightaway. 14 bouncing hard off the wall. Caution back out. Tons of action here. Richard Springer paying the ultimate price on that sequence of events. And unfortunately there, John Jones blinking out, bounced off the wall. He has heavy damage all around that race car. Let's go back and take a look. And watching on board with John Jones, you can see him, he blinked out there, gets up into the wall, bouncing off the wall, comes down. 14, nowhere to go. I'm gonna go to the nose cam here. And this one might make you sick with that spin cycle. Loses the hood, or actually flaps come up on the hood. Oof, I'm dizzy. That's hard contact. Both those drivers not gonna be in good shape for the last stint of this race. And that leaves Brandon Andrews out in front. Popestar Racing calling it. And we've got another comment in chat. Sam calling the 48. Pitsakemi, we talked with him under that last caution break, and he is currently up to 13th position. Nick Starling in the 43, currently in 8th position. Still pretty clean race car. And the 19, yeah, made a big move there earlier on. That took out a couple drivers. He's got damage on the right side and left side of that car. And we've got a couple drivers staying out on track. That is Taylor Butcher Benjamin, once again trying some strategy here with only about 10 laps to go. Rick Webb also staying out in that number 17. He is back on the lead lap, so good job for Rick to power through and get back up on the lead lap. But that car is heavily damaged, and he is going to be off the pace. Probably going to come down pit road here in just a minute. Nick Starling wins the battle off pit road. Brandon Andrews second. Carl Dodson third. Justin DeReich in that number 19 coming off in 4th. And some of these cars are going to need some paint work at the end of this. Shout out to Shorba's iRacing Paints. Maybe they can talk to Jacob Shorba and get a new scheme on their car after the race is over. You can head on over to Shorba's iRacing Paints on Facebook and get your own custom scheme anywhere between $5 and $20. Justin or Jacob does some great work, and just send him a message, and I'm sure he can get you hooked up with a beautiful new scheme for your race car. And another shout out to one of our sponsors, Rapid Fired Pizza. If you are watching on Twitch, you can use the command !pizza, and it will send you to the Rapid Fired Pizza website. But they are the associate sponsor here for the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, and looks like they make some delicious pizza, and I'm going to have to try it sometime. But appreciate their support of the series. And I'm going to jump in. I'm going to see if I can bring up the driver of the number 42, Brandon Andrews, if I can find him here. Hey, Brandon, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
10-4, how's it going?
Good. It looks like you're in a pretty good position right now. We second driver off of pit road, or maybe you won the race off pit road. I'm not exactly sure. But your car's been very fast tonight. What do you think you got to do to get it done here in these closing laps?
Just be consistent and stay out of trouble. I know a couple of the guys behind me are just as fast, and they're trying to move up. So just got to play it smart here and try to get down to the end of this race and see if I can't do something on these fresh tires.
How important is it to work the draft here and have partners helping you out to get to the front?
I mean, it's tremendously helpful to utilize the draft, but it's not like Daytona where you can stay in a line and, you know, have your partners for sure. So much is happening around you that you just have to move your car around to put yourself in a better position and to keep yourself out of trouble. So it's really hard to stick with any specific partners. You just got to kind of go with whatever lane you think's moving fastest.
And you've made some good moves so far tonight. We're going to keep an eye on you here and see what you can do to make your way to the front. You got some fans in chat rooting for you to take the victory here tonight. So just want you to be aware of that. And one question before we let you get going here. What is your favorite pizza topping if you were going to order a pizza from Rapid Fired Pizza?
I'm going to say pineapple.
All right. I like the way you think.
Gotta be different.
Yep. All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck here in these closing laps, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
That was Brandon Andrews in the number 42. So going to try and make some moves here in the closing laps, try and keep that car clean and green, and actually keep it green. As it's that bright green and black clover sponsorship on the number 42 Ganassi Mobile. So we'll see what he can do here in these closing laps. And I like the way he thinks. I like pineapple on pizza as well, and I know that's very polarizing, but feel like I'm entitled to my opinion, as the number 11, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, going to have control. Nicholas Starling did not make a stop on pit road. Looks like he just drove straight through pit road, so he is on older tires as well. Brandon Andrews instantly to the inside of him, but a huge gap now to the 11 out in front, at least a huge gap relative to any other restart we've seen. It's 3 car lengths or so, but that gap is going to close quickly as Andrews with fresh tires down low is going to get a push from Dodson. And huge run down the backstretch. Here's the 43, though. Big run from the high line. He jumps down low behind Butcher Benjamin. He's going to try and take the lead. Big run, 42 trying to avoid him. Gets down low, 3 wide at the front. Here comes Dodson down low, giving a big push to the 42. 18 in line as well down low. The 42, Brandon Andrews out front now, with a big push from that Dumont Jets number 95 Camry. The 19 of Justin DeRike, after getting into it a few laps ago, still up there inside the top 5. We'll see what he can do. He's got plenty of speed in that race car. And Chris Parkman trying to make his way back forward. He's giving a push to the 19 down the back straightaway. And the 95 now down low in front of Parkman. The 19 to the middle, trying to make the move. He's going to get right up next to Brandon Andrews. Almost made contact, but they avoid each other as they're working up behind the lap car of Timothy Latham, who's now 5 laps down. He's gained a few spots, but caution back out. That's going to put DeRike up in the lead. And let's see what happened. Trying to find who was caught up in that. Looks like Jeremy Boucher in the 4 caught up in that one. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. The 4 with heavy front end damage. You can see the 12 down low. Just make a little contact on the straightaway. He's trying to side draft him. Too close of a side draft. And the 12 sends the 4 around. That's going to bring out our latest caution. Caution number 11 here tonight. 21 lead changes at the front of the pack, but 11 cautions and quite a few caution laps here tonight. So we'll see if we can get a green flag run to the end. I'm not sure if they do green, white checkers, but I'm assuming they do. And we'll find out here in just a few laps if we end this under green or if we have caution around that time. But right now it's DeRike at the front of the field. Carl Dodson second. Brandon Andrews lost out on when that caution came out. He fell back to 3rd just based on the timing of that. Chris Parkman in 4th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 5th. And we'll see if these drivers make their way down pit road. They've only been out there for 6 laps, including a few caution laps. The 19, not sure what he is doing here. Fakes to pit road, comes back on track along with Dodson. The 19 has to be careful he doesn't pass the pace car here. Logan Kress back down pit road in that Chevy Camaro. He's got heavy damage on the race car and just trying to get it cleaned back up. He pretty much dominated here tonight and got into it with the 19 there on the front straightaway. It's going to cost him a shot at the win unless some kind of a miracle happens. But Jeremy Boucher also on pit road. The 48 of Brian Pizzakemi. Still a clean race car. And I look forward to seeing if he can get up inside the top 10 in that Lowe's for Pros machine. But right now it's Justin DeRike out front. And before we go green, we're going to cut quickly to a commercial break and be right back. All right, and pace car makes the hard left to pit road. We're going to be going green here, most likely the final time, hopefully the final time. It's Justin DeRike out front. Carl Dodson also on the front row after recovering from so many little incidents tonight. He's got a shot at the win. Green flag back out, underway once again in Michigan. Dodson dives down to the inside line right behind DeRike. The 42 of Brandon Andrews, no help behind him. The 11 jumps down in now. Give him a push up towards the front. But it's going to be the 95 and the 19, the top two cars. Next time around, it'll be the white flag, so we'll see if we can make it to that flag. We do have green-white checkers on here tonight, so the 8 of, that's Chris Parkman up high, actually the 13 on our scoring pylon. He jumps to the outside. That's going to leave the 19 in the middle, leaves him hanging 3 wide down the front straightaway. Contact the 51 down on the apron. The green flag's still out. Oh, caution flag. I mean, I don't blame him. That's half the field caught up in that one. We're going to have to go back and see what the exact start was. We'll take a look at Justin DeRike, who was involved in that. Not sure if he was kind of towards the source of it, but we will take a look here. So we see him 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. 19 down low, and it looks like the 43, the start of that one, kind of hooked a few cars there. Let's go back a couple more seconds. He hooks the 51 and the 18, shoots them up into the 3 and the 8. A few other drivers involved. We'll see the 48 of Pitsakemi once again avoiding everything. I'm gonna have to go to the nose cam on that car. This is some masterful wreck avoidance. You see the track almost blocked, 43 spinning. He's down into the grass, avoids all those cars. He's got car off to the left there, the 15 on 2 wheels, and he gets by. And John Jones going for quite a ride there in that car. DeRike, heavy damage on the front. So he is gonna be out of contention here outside the top 5. And really no shot, I think, at this point with all that front end damage. Carl Dodson takes over the lead. Brandon Andrews up into 2nd. And Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 3rd. Logan Kress nearing the top 5 once again. He's in 6th place. Still an opportunity to win this, as we're going to be going for our first green-white checkered attempt of the night. Logan Kress trying to get back inside the top 5, or at least, you know, get up there and have a shot to have get a win here after dominating so much of the race. '21 has recovered nicely as well. He's up into 9th. DeRike in 10th place. Pitsakemi in 11th after everything sorts out. Jeremy Boucher 13th. John Jones in 12th. Chris Hansen 14th. He's done a good job avoiding most of these incidents here tonight. I think that car looks pretty clean, so just a few more laps to go for these drivers and they will be home free. Carl Dodson's going to have control on the restart, and we'll see if that front end damage affects his speed getting up through the gears. And let's see here. I'm going to get an interview with the driver of the number 9, Troy Sabat, if I can find him here in our chat. Hi, Troy. This is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Troy, you got caught up in an incident a bit earlier, but you find yourself up near the top 5. What do you think it's going to take here to capture a win tonight?
Well, I don't really think I really have a chance. I mean, I'm down 32 RPM, but maybe if they all wreck, I have a chance.
So basically just avoiding any of the carnage and trying to keep the car as clean as you can for these final laps?
Yep.
Well, you've
pretty good on restarts, but I don't know about in 2 laps.
Yeah, you've done a great job so far throughout the race to gain all this track position back, because You were mired, you know, in the back outside the top 20, I think, for a little while there at least. And the car looks good tonight. You kept it as clean as you can since that point, and good luck here in these final few laps. One final question before we let you go. What's your favorite pizza topping if you were going to order a rapid-fired pizza?
Pepperoni.
All right, you were the second driver to say that tonight, but I respect it. So good choice, good luck, and we hope to talk to you in a minute.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Troy Sabat. I'm going to try and move him down with his teammate here in Hendrick Motorsports, Brian Pizzakemi. So we talked with both of the Hendrick drivers in tonight's race, and they are both inside the top 11. Carl Dodson, though, out in front with control of the field. Brandon Andrews going to be on the front row as well, and the Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's tried all kinds of strategies tonight. They've all worked out, and he's up at the front. The 66 of James Love, though, is not a driver that we have seen much of tonight. He started all the way back in 35th position, and he's got damage on that race car. But how about that driver, the iFlags Camry? Done a great job to get in position here, as we're going to be coming to the green flag this time by. And we're going to try and open up as much screen real estate as we can and hide our ticker. So I'll do my best to keep track of names and keep you informed. But we're going to watch the battle at the front of the pack. I feel the tension building. I've been in this position so many times myself. It's definitely intense, knowing that it's all coming down to these final 2 laps. The 95 of Carl Dodson in control on the low line. The 42 of Brandon Andrews up high. Let's see who gets a better restart. Green flag back out. 95, much better start. 42 did a decent job, but he's going to be side by side with Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the number 11 FedEx machine. Logan Kress now down on the inside. He moves up into 4th position. Now into the top 3, Brandon Andrews up high. Yeah, I don't think my scoring is actually going to show correctly because ATVO does not work with all of this. It says final lap. I think we're going to be coming to the checker next time by. But it's hard to say. Carl Dodson out in front. Logan Kress right behind him. We'll see if Kress makes a move. It's going to be the 11 up high with support from the 42. As they're still side by side going down into turn 1. Logan Kress all over the back bumper. It's at the front. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Carl Dodson, Logan Kress, Brandon Andrews. The 11 slips up the track. Here comes Brandon Andrews with the move. He's up high. Carl Dodson slowing him down low. Logan Kress jumps to the high line. Brandon Andrews takes over the lead. Coming through the final 2 corners. Can the 42 hold on? Dodson, big run down low. Logan Kress right there as well. It's Brandon Andrews out in front. He's going to take the victory at Michigan in the number 42 Clover Chevy Camaro. Congratulations to Brandon Andrews. Great run there. Logan Kress, I believe, came home in 2nd position, so congratulations to him as well for recovering. But great run there by Brandon Andrews. A few people called it in chat. Great job for that driver. Very intense finish. And we're going to have to talk to the top 3 here in just a second. Let's just quickly mention one of our sponsors. That's Shorba's iRacing Paints. Big shout out to those guys for sponsoring the series here. Head on over to Facebook. You'll find Shorba's iRacing Paints over there. You can get yourself a beautiful custom scheme of your own and make your car look as good as some of the ones you saw here tonight. But back to the main scene here. Brandon Andrews comes out on top. see if I can pull that driver up into the chat. We just talked with him not too long ago. Brandon Andrews. There he is. Brandon Andrews, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Brandon, it looks like you pulled it off. You made the moves when you had to, and you got a great run there coming out of turn 2. What did you do differently that time by that allowed you to just power right on past everybody?
I just didn't give up hope on that outside line. I'd been on that bottom before, and it usually prevails, but it looked like some of the cars on the inside line had a little bit more damage than I did. And again, I just stayed out of trouble all day, and like you said, I got that big run, and earlier in the race, I was taking it easy. I wasn't taking those runs, just trying to keep out of trouble, and coming to take the white flag, I kind of tested the high line, and I decided, if I could be on that outside lane, I figured I'd have enough momentum that I could get past him. And then I got past him, and I was worried he might get to my bumper. And he's typically a clean racer, but you never know when it comes down to the wire. So I was really patient with making sure I cleared him. I guess everything just kind of fell in place. Some of the better cars out there got taken out in some unfortunate incidents, and I was just in the right spot to capitalize.
And were you worried about Logan Kress making his way back up there? He had obviously a very good car and led over half the race tonight. Were you concerned about him making a move there in those final couple corners, or was he working with you to get you the win here tonight?
Him and I haven't talked much, but I know he's a good driver, and even though we haven't talked much, I think part of him still has that unspoken, respect of we're teammates. I could be wrong, but he raced me clean there, and I appreciate that. I was a little worried if he got up there. His car was slightly better than mine, but like I said, with the damage, I think I had the slight upper hand, even though he is a better driver than I am, and had a better setup. Again, just staying out of trouble really is what got it done today.
Yeah, there was a lot of chaos and carnage throughout today's race. I'm not totally sure about the caution count. I think it was 12, by the end of the race. So really a battle of attrition, and you come out on top, standing clean. Your car's got rubber all over it, but I don't see a dent on it. So definitely a great run for you here tonight. I believe next week we're going to Bristol. So what are your thoughts on heading over to the Coliseum?
I think it's going to be crazy. You're talking about a battle of attrition this week. Just imagine all of us on a half-mile track, barreling in there at decently high speeds. It's a lot different than a Martinsville, and I'm not much of a short track racer, so we'll see what I can do, but it's definitely going to be entertaining. I don't know if I'd probably take the over on cautions compared to this race, but I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yes, sir. It's definitely a fun track to run, and it's definitely a lot of beating and banging, so we'll have to see how it goes. But you come into tonight's race, I believe you were 12th in points, and you capture the win here. It looks like that's definitely going to help you in the playoff picture. So how does that feel, securing a victory and kind of moving on from here?
It feels real good. I mean, this season's been a struggle for me. Just internet problems some weeks, and then just bad luck other weeks. A lot of the wrecks I got through tonight, I hadn't been getting through. So after being beaten down all season and somehow battling my way to be in a position to make the playoffs, I wasn't even thinking about a win going into the night. But I was thinking, maybe a top 5. But it's a lot of relief. It's a lot of relief to be able to prove that I can compete with a lot of people in this league and run up front.
And run up front you did there. I think you were in the top 10 pretty much the whole night, top 5 for the majority of the second half there. And you started 15th, come away with 9 laps led. So definitely a great run here tonight, deserving victory. And before we let you go to celebrate, anybody you want to give a shout out to that makes this possible?
I just want to, in honesty, I'll thank everyone in the league. Tempers flare sometimes, but I want to thank my competitors because without all of us, we wouldn't be doing this. And I want to thank you for coming along on board to broadcast this. I think it's great. It's becoming a real special thing. We're still working out the kinks, but the league's definitely trending upward. And then I got to thank our sponsors, Rapid Fire Pizza, with that sponsor coming from my Xfinity driver. it's cool to see. He did well last night too, so congrats to him. Both my drivers yesterday in that Xfinity race did well.
Yep, Evan put on a good show there, trying to hold him off for the win. So congratulations once again on the run here tonight and on how your drivers did yesterday. I didn't realize you were the team owner, but congratulations on that. Go celebrate, and we will catch up with you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. So that was our winner here tonight, Brandon Andrews, coming from 15th on the grid, leading 9 laps and stealing this victory away in those final laps. Great run by that driver. And we're going to talk to second place finisher now, Logan Kress. You can see the damage on that race car on your screen. Let's see if I can find him here in the chat. See Chris James, but I do not see Logan Kress. I'll bring Chris up. I don't know if he is. Hey, is this Logan?
This is not Logan.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. I don't see him in chat here, but I saw your name in the waiting room. So, all right, I'll put you back down there. Thank you. Logan Kress. I do not see him in chat here. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get an interview with our second place finisher. Logan had a crazy race tonight, so I'd really like to talk to him, but I don't see him in chat. Anyways, I'll give you the rundown. Logan Kress started on the pole. He led 59 laps here tonight. Got a little bit involved with the 19 of Justin DeReich in the closing stages of this race. Got sent down into the wall. Able to recover, though, with a strong run at the end, backing up his teammates. So it's a Chip Ganassi Racing top 2 finish tonight. So congratulations to Logan on a solid run, solid recovery, and a very deserving finish. Probably not exactly what he wanted. Probably wanted the win, but either way comes away with the top 3 tonight. And we're going to bring up third place finisher Carl Dodson. Carl Dodson, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, sir. How are you tonight?
Good. And I'm assuming you're doing pretty well as yourself with the top 3 finish here tonight.
I mean, with what Jacob's put together here in the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, it's really special with the format that he has, and then the sponsors coming on. It's really helped to have Rapid Fire Pizza and Shikobi iRacing paints, and then Alpha, our ornamental metals coming on. And then, of course, VSPEED putting out this great broadcast tonight for all our fans and sponsors to be able to get their money's worth and watch a great finish. You have the likes of many great racers in here when tempers fly and everything else, but it's still a good racing. Logan got second. Brandon ran a heck of a race. I just had too much damage to really make a strong try to push to win it at the end.
Yeah, we saw you get involved a couple times with the 00, I believe. And anyways, I don't know if there was retaliation or if you were aware. I think he was unhappy. But either way, you survived tonight's race, even with all the damage. Somehow you had the speed on in that car to come away with the top 3. So were you aware of all that stuff going out on track, or were you just trying to focus forward and get a good run here?
Oh no, a good racer has eyes everywhere between listening to the chat, watching the video that you put on while I'm racing, spotters above telling me what's going on, telling me the idiots that are out there. It does happen. It's part of racing. Every single race, you're going to have different people that are going to have issues. There's been races where at the beginning, I bump drafted Logan, came down when I bumped drafted him, and then got me and the 12 both kind of came together. The 12 got upset. He wrecked me after the end there. But, I understand why he was frustrated, and it's part of racing. You have to accept it. Whether you like it or not, I get very heated. I am a very passionate person when it comes to talking about racing. And, but anyways, I really like this league, and thanks to Gen X helping me with the setup and Junior Motorsports, and then also Hendrix, which is the team that I drive for on the Xfinity Series on Friday night.
Well, you definitely put on a show tonight, and it was a good race for you yesterday, I think, as well. Did you finish? I think you were just outside the top 5, if I can recall. I don't remember exactly. There's so many names between both races, but you come away with a great race here tonight. I think you led the second most laps of anyone after starting
Yeah,
on the
I got
outside?
the win for the stage and led several laps. I just wanted to put on a good show and race a good race for Jacob. Unfortunately, his computer was out. He asked me to sub up from the Xfinity and run his ride. So really, I was here just to run up front and race hard, not give anything and take all I can. And that's what I did tonight. Some people may not be happy with it, but in the end, it's hard racing. You're not going to like everything that happens. There's nights where you come out, but as long as you keep showing up and working on your setup, it drives you to be a better driver.
Yes, sir. That is true indeed. The more seat time, more practice, the better experience you're going to have and the better racing that you're going to be able to put out. But we're going to Bristol next week. Totally different track. If there was beating and banging here, I'm sure we're going to have some there. But what are your thoughts on heading over to the Coliseum?
If you liked what you watched tonight, the excitement, the hard racing, next week is going to be nothing but watching like a high speed, basically a boxing match. As far as people diving it in there, bumping into each other, it's just how Bristol is. And then you just try to hope that nobody gets hurt in the end. Even though it's sim racing, the tempers get so bad. I've watched people break off their steering wheels and do some stupid stuff. And we're just hoping we don't have any of that, but an exciting show for the fans. And we do want to thank you, VSPEED, for showing up, coming over here to this league, and giving some exposure and allowing our fans, family members, and everybody else to get an opportunity to watch this great show. And you doing the one-man band thing, it's very impressive, Adam. Very impressive.
Well, thank you, Carl. Thank you for the kind words. It's definitely encouraging to hear when people enjoy the product. I'm glad that we can put on an entertaining race for all the fans and family members. I know I appreciate when other people were broadcasting races, so it's a switch for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So congratulations on the run, though. Here, anybody else you want to give a shout out to before I let you go celebrate?
I gotta send a shout out to all my postal workers. I work at the post office. Want to thank all of them for their hard, dedicated work during the suffering heat that all of them are enduring. And then, of course, everybody at Gen X that helps me build the setups and work on it. We have a very special setup this week that allowed us to contend every single race as long as you weren't wrecked out.
Well, awesome, Carl. Great run here tonight. Way to recover in the end, and even with all that damage, come away with a nice top 3. So go celebrate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Woohoo! Talk to you later.
Thank you, sir. All right, so that was third place finisher Carl Dodson, and we are going to run through our full results now. Bring up Brandon Andrews, your winner in the background. 100 laps here at Michigan for the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, sponsored by Alpha Ornamental Metals, Rapid Fire Pizza, as well as Shorba's iRacing Paints. Winner tonight, Brandon Andrews, started 15th. Bold move on the outside on the final lap, comes away with the victory here. So great finish, great run by that driver, and congratulations once again. Logan Kress, the teammate in that number 1 car, fastest driver throughout most of the race, and he had a little bit of bad luck there in the final stage, but able to recover nicely to second place. Carl Dodson also started up on the front row, and it comes away with a nice top 3. We got to hear from him just a second ago. Very happy man there. Fourth place was Taylor Butcher Benjamin, coming away with a nice solid run. Brian Pizzakemi, we gave him a shout out a couple times throughout the race and talked to him during one of the cautions, and he does come away with a nice solid top 5. So good run by that driver. Troy Sabat, who we also talked to, finishes 6th. Justin DeReich finishes 7th here in that number 19. 8th place is Jeremy Boucher. 9th, Mike Springer, and Justin Carey rounds out the top 10. Sorry, his name is not showing up on our grid there. 11th place was Alex Pelican. 12th place, Chris Hansen. 13th, Nick Starling. 14th, Rick Webb. 15th, James Love. 16th, Jordan Brockle. 17th, John Jones. 18th, Timothy Latham. Solid recovery for a driver who was at one point, I believe, 7 or 8 laps down. He ends up 3 laps down, so good run by him to get inside the top 20. Alex Link finishing 19th, and Chris Parkman finishing in 20th. 21st was Daniel Hallis. 22nd, Chris Echepar. 23rd, Richard Springer. 24th, Adam Westfield. 25th, Travis Manning. 26th, Jeffrey McConey. 27th, Josh Bearden. 28th, Ryan Strunk. 29th, Curtis Valenzuela. 30th, Eric Wineland. 31st tonight was Justin Boyles. 32nd, Mike Miljanovic, 33rd, Spencer Tart. And I believe that was all the drivers that took the field tonight. 33 on the field. Jacob Shorba did not start, as well as Richard Clement and Robert Carroll. They decided not to take the grid tonight, and Jacob has computer problems. So that's going to do it for tonight's event. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast here on VSPEED. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing or following, depending on the platform you're watching on. We really appreciate it, and it helps us bring more and more great content to you guys throughout the racing season. You can also find us on Facebook, where we announce each and every broadcast. So head on over there, check us out. We're also on Instagram at VSpeedSim, so you can see the announcements for new leagues and new ventures over there. And we want to give a big shout out again to our sponsors of tonight's race, being Rapid Fired Pizza, Alpha Ornamental Metals. It's tough to say quickly. Alpha Ornamental Metals, as well as Shorba's iRacing Paints, the sponsors here for the iRacing Fantasy Series. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and great night.